Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be saying goodbye to the 4-valve swap Mustang for quite some time. I'm estimating she's going to be out of service, which means we're not going to be able to drive it, not going to be able to make any drifting content for about, I'd say 4 to 5 months, because we're going to be doing some ridiculous amount of overhauling to it. But first things first, we actually have to tear this thing down so we can actually swap the heads onto it. So we got to take off the intake manifold and the fuel pressure regulator. That's the first thing that I'm going to do. So let's get into today's video. Alright guys, now that we're done with the intro, we're actually going to be taking this thing for its final drive before we start tearing it apart, taking the motor out, taking the trans out, pretty much stripping the thing back down to the rolling shell that I bought it as. So I'm going to get the GoPro set up and we're going to take this thing for a drive. Alright, so we've already had our fun with this thing. Now it's looking like it's about to rain, so I don't want to do too much today. I'm actually just going to pull the intake manifold off of this thing. Going to take as much of the smaller pieces off the motor because I'm actually going to be pulling this motor very soon. So hopefully in the next 2 to 3 videos I'll have this engine and transmission out and we can get to repairing everything that we need to repair on it and swap those heads over, rebuild the gearbox, and just make this thing all around a better setup. So I'm going to take off that intake manifold, and that should be it for today. Alright, so just got done pulling the intake manifold, and obviously this thing is super hot, but there it is. And another thing that I don't like about this manifold is having the throttle body completely in the back. It makes it extremely difficult to get to when you're trying to build a cold air intake or any type of turbo charge pipe to it. The real issue with the B heads compared to the C heads is these split ports. It's like 2 ports per cylinder for B heads, and for C heads it's 1 big port per cylinder. Also, the size of this intake manifold is much smaller than a C head intake manifold, but I'll show you guys the differences between a B head intake manifold and a C head intake manifold in the next video. But that's all we're going to do for today. We have begun the process of tearing down the 4-valve swap. We're going to be pulling this motor very soon, putting it on an engine stand, taking the heads off of it, and also swapping on the new C heads. But that's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And always remember, don't drift without your dreams. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.